Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, TF-CBT, is a highly researched treatment model for children who have been through abuse.
What I love about it is that it really helps families heal together. So it not only focuses on the child, but it actually focuses on the caregiver and other family members as well.
We've had some really good outcomes with parents being able finally to address their own thoughts and feelings about all this, but then that allows them to then support their child.
It can take away the fear parents might have of this is going to mess up their whole life. They see their kid as a kid who says, yeah, this happened, but I'm still a great kid.
One of our goals in TF-CBT is to work ourselves out of a job and put the parent in place. And so we work very actively with the caregiver as well as the caregiver and child together so they are able to talk with each other once therapy is ended.
TF-CBT is made up of actually several different components that address all the different areas that are impacted by trauma. So we're dealing with the affective realm, which is feelings. We're dealing with cognitions, which is what kids think. And we're also dealing with how their bodies are responding. So it really covers kind of the whole range of problems that kids can develop.
There's also a trauma narrative component that's used to capture the story of the abuse and to really give it a beginning, a middle, and an end so that the child can integrate the feelings, the thoughts, the experiences into a cohesive story that can then be carried forward in a meaningful way. Trauma narratives can be very creative. They can be written, they can be collages, it can be acted out with young children or drawn in pictures, but it's a way for the child to separate the story from themselves and look at it from a different perspective, to really be able to think back on it in a different way, to separate the past and the present.
I recently had a client that was a 10-year-old female. She came into Children's Safe Harbor and made an outcry of sexual abuse against her biological father. At first she was very avoidant about talking about the trauma, which is very normal. Mom also had a very difficult time because it was her husband. And so over the course of treatment, we were able to help Mom with the guilt that she felt. The 10-year-old was able to start gradually over time talking about the trauma that had occurred and was able to realize that it was not her fault.
The conjoint session that happens after the narrative is a very healing session in which the child and caregiver come together and the child shares the story. It can be an extremely healing session in which the story comes out into the open and everyone shows that they are more powerful than that story. It no longer holds control over them.
One of the effects of sexual abuse, a lot of times, is that it separates the child emotionally from their caregiver. Now the child has, a huge secret that their parent can't know about. And with TF-CBT, we really empower the child and the parent to be able to talk about this.
So they leave with new coping skills as well as a new relationship where hope can continue and trust continues to grow.
TF-CBT is a model that can be taught to clinicians anywhere.
TF-CBT has made a really big impact on the way that I do therapy. And it's made the therapy that I do a lot more effective.
Parents see not my child is going to be messed up forever, but my child is really a hero. My child is really a fighter. My child really is a warrior and has come through the other side.